you guys, and welcome to my kitchen, Midnight Munchies and more. I am your chef, Charisse, and today we are on location in Winterfell. Okay, so Game of Thrones let me rephrase. Motherfucking series finale is tomorrow. So theoretically, we would be eating these for the show, for the finale, but we went ahead and did them ahead of time so that you guys can make them for your finale. So we are going to make a pigeon pie and Sansa's lemon cakes, but we're gonna make them vegan and gluten-free. I got my little hand, look, and my brew. But I'm almost out, girls. So you know what I need to do? I'll just take her out of there. What? She's a bottle opener! Shout out to Liz for this awesomeness. So before I get started, I did want to say this would not be possible without you guys. So if you want to help support this channel, every single $1 donation helps. You can donate via PayPal to midnightmunchiesandmore@yahoo.com. And we're just going to jump into these. Okay, gluten-free pie crust. So, savory pie crust. So again, we're going to go Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1, a baking flour, gluten-free, blah, blah, blah. So I have 1.5 cups in here. And again, I like to go ahead and put it in the little sifter guy. And we're going to make sure that we get it all nice and fluffy and get all the lumps out. And then to that, we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon each of onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. And we want to make sure that's nice and mixed together. And then I have 1/2 cup of a vegan butter replacement. Now you can certainly do this in like a food processor until it gets all blitzed in there. You can use forks, you can use pastry cutter, you can do whatever you want. I'm probably gonna end up going in here with my hands because you know how I do. I have about 1/4 cup of ice cold water, but I'm just gonna start incorporating it, and then I'm gonna stop adding it once it starts coming together. So you might not use all of this ice cold water, but you might need a little bit more. Like, you just do it until it just comes together, girl. I'm telling you, just comes together. Once you get in there with your hands, and you can even knead it together for just a second, form it into a ball, wrap it up, and we're gonna put this bad boy in the refrigerator to chill, hang out, until we get the rest of our ingredients ready. In place of our pigeon, for our pigeon pie, we're going to use oyster mushrooms. So this is what this looks like. I used this for my pulled barbecue sandwiches. So if you've seen that, you know what we do. So we just take it and we just like hand shred it like we would like chicken or like a pigeon or like pulled barbecue, which if you haven't seen that video, you should totally watch it because it's delicious. I'm going to take my cast iron pan over to the stove and I'm going to preheat it, and then once it's nice and hot, I am going to take 1 whole red onion. I got a gigantic one, and I just chopped it roughly. And then I have about 2 or 3 stalks of celery. I wouldn't worry about putting this in there, but this is going to be kind of like, what vegetables do I have in my house that I can throw in a pot pie? So I have some celery, and that's why I'm going to add that into there, extra flavor. And then we're also going to add our shredded oyster mushrooms in place of our pigeon, and we're going to get them all sauteed down. I have about 1/4 cup of EVOO in the pan that we sauteed our onion, celery, and pigeon, our oyster mushrooms. And to make it gluten-free, keeping with the theme, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of cornstarch instead of flour, and I'm gonna mix this together to make our roux. So the reason that I'm doing it this way, if you remember my country fried steak recipe, you guys, this is exactly how we did it after we fried our steaks. Okay, so now that we've let that cornstarchy flavor cook out for just a minute, we have it on low. I have 1 1/4 cup of vegetable oil and 1 1/4 cup of our unsweetened non-dairy milk. So I'm using almond milk. You can use like, you know, soy, cashew, like whatever your heart desires, and start with a little bit at a time and make sure we get all the clumps out, get all the delicious bits on the bottom of the sauteed awesome. And then we're going to crank up our heat and bring it to just a boil, and then turn it down and let it simmer until it gets nice and gravy-like, bechamel-y. You know what I'm saying. I'm sorry, the coloring is so off. I didn't get the other light out for this, so it looks weird. Sorry, bye, love you. As you can see here are our sauteed oyster mushrooms and onions and celery. So to that, I have 1 can of peas and 1 bag of mixed frozen vegetables. The reason I'm using this is because, well, that's what I had in my house. So this is what I was telling you about. Like, this is just throw together whatever vegetables you have. And then we're gonna come in here with our gravy. I'm sorry in advance if I steam you up. But we're gonna pour it all in there. All right, so we're gonna mix it all together, but then also we need to add some more seasonings, right? Because we want it to be extra delicious. So I'm gonna add some more onion powder that we added to the crust, some more garlic powder, some more salt and pepper to taste. You can take bites. Oh my God, I'm gonna open this thing because it's taking forever. Just a little, yeah, a little salt, because I made sure my cans are no salt added. Usually you guys should totally do that. That way you can flavor them yourself. Oh my God, girl, I know that doesn't look like much right now, but once we put it in a pot, holy shit. Okay, so for this kind of dough, you're gonna need probably closer to a 1/2 cup of water than a 1/4 cup because it's gluten-free. So it's gonna be more of a sticky dough and it's gonna need to chill a little bit longer. So we took it out of the fridge, we cut her in half, and then I'm gonna roll each one in between some parchment paper. Okay, so I have it in my pie pan. And it looks like shit. Forewarning, gluten-free vegan pie crust is very delicate and will fall apart on your ass. So, whoops. Okay, we'll see how this works out. So now we're gonna fill it with our filling. Normally we would try and crimp her up to the bottom, but we don't really have a whole lot to work with. So we're just gonna hope for the best and put her on a cookie sheet. So if she leaks, okay, she's not gonna ruin your oven. Clearly, I'm no connoisseur when it comes to vegan gluten-free pie crust, but we're gonna give her a little ventilator so that she has a little bit of room to breathe. And then I have my oven preheated at 450 degrees. Now, we're gonna bake her for about 45 to 50 minutes, but I'm gonna stop after about 20 and I'm gonna show you what comes next. So now I melted a little bit of some vegan butter and we're gonna brush her on there. And this is gonna help give it like more of a lighter, flakier, delicious, original style, crusty flavor. And then we're gonna put her back in there for the remaining time. We're gonna start with our Bob's Red Mill gluten-free 1-to-1 baking flour blue bag. Super awesome. You can find it at like your local grocery store, Walmart. It's not that serious. So I have 2 cups, but what I like to do when I am baking with my gluten-free is I really like to go ahead and, what do you call this? Sift it out, because you want it to be a lot lighter. Like gluten-free flour tends to be kind of dense. So you want to just lighten it up, get rid of these little chunky chunks. To that, we are going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're also going to add 1 whole cup of sugar. Again, as per usual, be careful with white sugar because a lot of them are processed with bone char. So you have to make sure that you get one that isn't. It doesn't usually say on the package. You're going to have to probably Google it, but you got to pocket Google. You got to pocket Google. After I mixed all of that together, I made 3 wells. So one of them obviously just needs to be small because it's only 1 teaspoon of vanilla going in that guy. And then in another one of them is going to be 1/4 cup of vegetable oil with 2 tablespoons. So 1/4 cup and 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. I know it sounds crazy, but just trust me, okay? And then I zested and juiced 2 lemons. So we're gonna go ahead and pour that in our other whole well. As you can already see happening, that acid from the lemon juice is mixing with the baking soda and it's starting to bubble. That's going to be like our leavening agent. So that's pretty exciting. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And then I have 1/2 cup of unsweetened non-dairy milk. I am using almond. You can use cashew or soy or like whatever, plus 1/2 cup of water. So I went ahead and just put them in the same thing because like, why are you going to do dishes? So we're going to pour that in there. And then we're just going to start folding this until it just comes together. Do not, I repeat, do not overmix this. You can certainly use a regular cupcake pan, but I'm going to use this square one because I think they're super cute. And we're just gonna dole these out. Make sure you've prepped it with some Pam and fill them all up. And then we have our oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're gonna let these bake for about 15 to 20 minutes. It may go a little less, it may go a little longer. Like, you guys, all ovens are different. Keep an eye, you know what I'm saying? Keep an eye on that shit. I have about 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup of powdered sugar, and that's just what I'm starting with. Now, with powdered sugar, make sure you get the one that has cornstarch and not flour if you're doing the gluten-free. And then I have another lemon that has been zested and juiced. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start adding it a little bit at a time and stir it up until it gets the consistency that we want. Now, if we accidentally add too much lemon, we can add more powdered sugar. We add too much powdered sugar, we add more lemon. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that serious. Then we just put her in a Ziploc baggie, snipped a little bit off, and we're just gonna go in here and drizzle our lemon cake. Sansa, hi, how are ya? You guys! Okay, so can you see my pie? My pigeon pie and my lemon cake. So let's jump into this. And then I got some shit to say about this gluten-free crust. Okay. Let's get in there. Well, okay. So it's not like a normal crust, well, obviously, because vegan and gluten-free, but it's like, it's still so good. It's more crunchy, like crispy, like a, dare I say it, a calzone, like a pot pie calzone, right? I mean, I'm sweating. Greg, I need my fan. I'm all bundled up here, trying to have costume design. I drink and I know things, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm sweating out here. I don't know if they had these kind of fans in Winterfell, bitch. But I'm out here. Okay. Oh, the gluten-free crust. I had other things to say. So I think if you were to make this, and you wanted a top and a bottom, I would double the recipe and roll it thicker so that you didn't have the problem that I had where it was like kind of falling apart. Or you can just do that one recipe, one single batch of it, and just do it on top, which like a lot of people do pot pies that way. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, let's get, look at, oh, I'm like so hot. Oh wow. Oh wow. Can you see? That icing, it's like, it's so lemony and sour, but it's so sweet from the powdered sugar. I think Peter Dinklage, who is, fun fact, is a vegan, I think he would be proud. Tyrion, bitch, this one's for you. So full written recipes will be linked below, midnightmunchiesandmore.com. Make sure you guys subscribe, and make sure you ring those bells. Make sure you ring the bell notification. Ring those bells, or we're all gonna get fired up. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I really hope Tyrion doesn't die in the finale. Alright, I don't even watch Game of Thrones. I've just been watching this season because I got sucked into it and I wanted to know the ending. I'll catch you guys next time.
Oh, good night kisses while he wishes and reminisces. His eyes kissing while he waits for the full moon above. Oh, ivory dove, passionate love. Listening closely, positioning my intuition for her nutrition and ambition. Get up, like when you rise in the morning, rub your eyes in the morning through the skies in the morning. Get up. Like when you rise in the morning, rub your eyes in the morning through the skies in the morning, get up.